I've touched on how I think that the creative should work for TNA. I'll touch on now another important aspect of the company. Not so much because I've necessarily got some of my own good ideas, but I've seen TNA come up with good ideas in the past, and yet they either dropped the ball on them or lost focus or gone back on something because they think they might achieve something in a different way. The six-sided ring for me was absolute gold dust. It gave more dimensions to play off. It let the wrestlers really interact, and it wasn't the WWE. It wasn't a boxing ring. It wasn't a WWE wrestling ring. It was a totally new idea and a new concept as far as I was concerned. Another thing that TNA lost was the King of the Mountain match. Whilst for his namesake, it's kind of after Jeff Jarrett, which sucks in itself. The concept was an excellent idea and really made something for Slammiversary completely different and unique, and that should definitely come back. Lockdown is the best pay-per-view that they have all year. If anything, this is now their WrestleMania. It's one way to go, and I don't mind if that's what it's going to be. But the other pay-per-views don't have the features in the same way that the WWE does. And although they don't need to go overboard in quite the same way to make every single one, that's my son playing with his belt just underneath me, which is why you won't be able to hear me. It's not an idea that I want them to go whole hog on, that every pay-per-view has to be a gimmick pay-per-view. I do think that 3 or 4 gimmick pay-per-views, as Royal Rumble, as Survivor Series, as Elimination Chamber prove, they're a good idea. They're a good thing that makes you unique and different, and it gives you something to run and build up to, which gives you a purpose for the feuds. Tied on top of that, I strongly feel that TNA should stick to what they call in America, I suppose, PG-14. It can be the new Attitude Era that everybody, all these marks on the internet moaning about WWE, moan about, would then get from TNA. It means that the X Division could become a cruiserweight stroke hardcore division. If anything, I would think that they could keep the TNA TV Championship. I haven't watched it enough lately to really get an idea on that. I kind of lost focus. Sorry, I've got eyes. I saw that stood here looking at me curiously. I kind of lost focus a while back when they lost the Legends title. For me, they should bring back a TNA hardcore title. That's something that would be really useful. I'm not so necessarily sold on the Divas tag team, but then I suppose if you've got a male one, I can be kind of sold on that. But they're just at the stage where they could have a title in several different areas that would really matter. Just like WWE needs to go back to having titles that actually really matter and feuds that matter and making people be patient. People say that today people don't have the patience. This ADSD, attention deficit disorder, a lot of that's kind of created. I've kind of noticed that, although it's still around, and I know that there are people that still definitely have it, that asthma seems to have kind of fallen off the agenda. There's not so many people that have asthma anymore, and perhaps that was something to do with the food and stuff that we were eating at the time, and perhaps this attention deficit disorder is something that we're creating for our own society because of the internet, because of the type of films that we're watching, and perhaps we need to be re-educated into what a tale is. You go and see a play like The Doll's House. It's basically about a woman who pays for her husband in a period of time where a woman could not pay for something. It's wrong. The husband would be embarrassed in public society, tries to tread her, and then you get this situation where it's almost considered a feminist play because she says that she couldn't live with this and she walks out at the end. What you don't do is say, this is the Doll's House, here's a marriage, they split up, she walks out. You could take another play like Hedda Gabler or The Seagull, where climactically the thing that happens is someone shoots themselves. But you don't say, this is Hedda Gabler, oh, she shot herself, well, that's good because we can get back to the bar. The purpose is that you actually go to be entertained, you go to learn, and that is something that WWE used to do incredibly well and TNA have been able to do sometimes. That's what I'm into it for. If I just want to see 2 guys fight, I'll go and watch them put boxing gloves on. If I want to see 2 guys fight, I'll go and see the mixed martial arts stuff. What I want to see is the sports entertainment that Vince so often talks about. And TNA are just as bad at this as WWE. WWE are in a situation where Vince obviously likes big guys, only big guys, and he only likes white guys. Variety, surely, we all know, is the spice of life. And if you are made to wait, if you're made to consider, if you're building in anticipation, then something good is going to come along. Now, I'm known in Brussels by lots of people as being the party guy, but if every day was a party, you'd never know it was a party. If life were made of moments, even now and then a bad one, but if life were only moments, then you'd never know you'd had one. I go from Christmas, and I get to my Eurovision day, and I have my Grand National once a year, and I have summer solstice once a year, and I have Halloween once a year, and my children's birthdays they have once a year. Isn't this the point? Different things once per year create good entertainment and good programming. I hope that people will join in this conversation, that you will subscribe, give us a thumbs up, give us a thumbs down, and sooner or later we may, by sheer weight of volume, get noticed and heard by the people that create things, or did create things that we wanted to see. This is Stevie C, Stone Cold Stevie C, signing off. Shock and awe. That's the way forward.